kwa ukombozi wetu. Tujitoe wenyewe, tusimame pamoja kulinda uhuru na umoja wetu. Enyi bwana na binti wa Afrika, mwili wa jua, mwili wa anga, tuifanye Afrika mti wa uzima. Tuungane sote, tuimbe pamoja, kuenzi shikamano hatima yetu. Tujitoe wenyewe kupambana pamoja, uhuru na umoja vitawale. Enyi bwana na binti wa Afrika, mwili wa jua, mwili wa anga, tuifanye Afrika mti wa uzima. Tuungane sote na tujibidishe kutoa kilicho bora kwa Afrika. Chimbuko la wanadamu, chemchemi ya utamaduni, tumaini letu wakati wa mafarakano. Enyi bwana na binti wa Afrika, mwili wa jua, mwili wa anga, tuifanye Afrika mti wa uzima.
Let us make Africa the tree of life. This is Man TV Africa. My name is Kato in the studio is Alison Bayer, based in Kenya, to do the production. And of course, this is Man TV Africa. We want to encourage you to please subscribe to our channel. This is a television. This is a television. We are a registered non-government organization, registered to do this work worldwide. We have studios in Kenya, Uganda, Zambia, Zimbabwe. We have studios in Nigeria, Ghana, USA, and UK. And we want to encourage you to please subscribe to our channel, Humans TV Africa. And of course, our Facebook name is Humans TV Africa. This is a registered non-government organization. We work to promote critical thinking, to promote education, and of course, to learn from you as you learn from us. And of course, to be champions of progress, one day at a time, one person at a time, one village at a time. Now, you may want to join us. Please write to us. Our email is right there, info@humanstvafrica.com. And of course, our WhatsApp number is right there. Our communication officer, Ban Kabeko, right in Kenya, will be able to reply to you. At the moment, we are looking for interns, volunteers, and people who want to join us officially and work with us. Do not forget to apply. This is the opportunity. Once the window closes, we shall not open it. This is Man TV Africa, and we are here to be that window, the paradigm shift about the way the world perceives Africa. We want to change the narrative about Africa and define our own identity, define our own image. We are not a YouTube channel. We are a television that run from Monday to Monday. And we are registered to do this. If you have been observant and you watch our shows, you must be seeing that our hosts are coming from different countries and we are discussing different topics. Now, this show is called Kato and The Gang. And today we are talking about circumcision. We are talking about circumcision. It's a very interesting topic. The question is, should traditional circumcision be maintained? The question is, should traditional circumcision be maintained? Remember, we have medical circumcision. Remember, we have religious circumcision. But also we have cultural circumcision. Now, I'm looking at circumcision from three angles: medical circumcision, religious circumcision, and traditional circumcision. What is circumcision, for example? You have a male child and you cut off the outer skin on their penis, on their manhood. Now, there are so many reasons why people do that. I must confess that I was circumcised, but I was about 11 years. I decided to do it because I was convinced it was good for me. So I was never circumcised as a child. And I was not circumcised because of tradition, because my culture doesn't circumcise. And I was not coming from a Muslim background. Therefore, it was not because I was a Muslim. But nevertheless, I was circumcised. And I can tell you, the benefits are immense. I know people who are not circumcised will say, oh, I love not being circumcised. So be it. But I tell you, I love it that I'm circumcised. But the reasons were not traditional. To me, it was more of medical because my mother was a nurse. Until recently, my mother served as a nurse for over 40 years, trained scientific nurse. And I thought, as a teenager, that circumcision was good for me. And I tell you this, that circumcision has been the best thing to me on my manhood. So do I support it? Yes, scientifically, yes. Now, how about traditional circumcision? How about the religious circumcision? Number one, I'm secular. I'm humanist. I'm atheist. I don't support traditional circumcision. I don't support religious circumcision. Why? Because I do think that if you circumcise someone using religious lenses, you have brainwashed this person to accept circumcision. And that is wrong. Because of saying, oh, Abraham, oh, God, oh, this and that. There is no God. God is in your mind. Think about a people in the Bible who used to circumcise others for the sake of appeasing the king. At one time, a king, was it David or Saul? I think it was Saul, who asked for 200 skins cut off from their enemies, from the penises of their enemies. So for them, even cutting off someone's outer skin from his penis was something like defeat, was a sign of showing mighty. Think about a God who wants skin. Why did the God want people's foreskins get off their penises? Which type of God was this that actually wants people's foreskins to go off? Therefore, why do you tell me that Muslims must circumcise because of Allah? Which type of culture is that? Which type of religion is that? To me, it's nonsense. To me, to tell me that you are circumcised because of religion is the most dumbest thing to tell me. Very dumb, very ignorant, very awkward. To tell me that you are circumcising a child because of religion, hopeless. Doesn't count. When you look at the history of that religion, it doesn't make sense how it began to circumcise. Now, when you tell me you are circumcising an African child because of tradition, I say hopeless. Explain to me exactly what type of culture is this one. First of all, there's no consent when you are circumcising a child based on the religious grounds. There's no consent when you are circumcising a child based on traditional grounds. Because you say it's our tradition, it's our religion. Whether you like it or not, you must go under the knife. That's why I'm saying it's wrong. First, I say it as a lawyer because I do think, rightly so, that you are violating the rights of this child. Because normally, you are circumcising a child who has not said yes to your circumcision. I've told you that my mother sat me down and my elder brother, and we discussed why I should circumcise. And I said, yes, I accept. Yes, I am circumcised. But I was 11 years. I was old enough to say no. I told them, yes, you told me the benefits. Scientifically, I'll be cleaner, I'll be this and that. Yes, and true. I think I'm much more better circumcised. Now, that was me from a scientific point of view. But again, when you tell me circumcision is going to be done because of tradition, I believe that these traditions are forcing a people to circumcise. So I think, to me, traditional way of circumcising is wrong. First of all, it's painful in most cases. I've seen them in my own country among the Gishu. The Gishu simply circumcise without sterilization, without putting an injection, without killing the pain. But for them, that is how a man is in initiation ceremony. So we have our colleague from Sierra Leone, Emmanuel Mambo, is going to be also sharing his views on circumcision and, of course, tell us how it is done in Sierra Leone. But my answer, of course, my own analysis is that no to traditional circumcision, no to religious circumcision, and yes to medical, scientifically proven circumcision. Welcome, Mambo, on the show.
Yeah, thank you, Senior Comrade Kato.
What's your take on today's topic?
Yes, I actually go in line with you that it should be done in a scientific way, because traditionally it's harmful and it kills. We have a lot of cases where people are being circumcised traditionally and they end up losing their lives because of excess bleeding. So it is not I don't support it, and I would preach against it seriously. And also religious way of circumcision. Because you will not tell me our religion says this is how you should do it, or my religion says this is how it should happen. If you are saying that, it means that it's just a way to kill somebody silently. So I will not support it. But if it is done in a scientific way where medications are being taken and also a better treatment, it's better that way. Because in my country we have different ways they do it actually, according to your tradition, or maybe because the way people are exposed. People in the interior, in hard to reach communities, actually do it traditionally, which to me is bad. And they have those knives that they use in harvesting rice. The knife is like very long and a little bit curvy. That is what they use. Or sometimes a blade, which is maybe they will use it on a single blade will be used on 3 different people. And also the knife, they also use one knife to circumcise more than 8 people. So could you imagine the blood being moving from one person to another? If they circumcise this person and then yours is done, and then they'll bring another person, they use the same knife. So to me, it's very bad and it's uncalled for. So if we could, I am totally against it. I am circumcised actually, and secondly, they are doing this without the consent of the person being that this circumcision is being done to. They will not even ask you whether you are interested or not, or they will not even try to highlight the benefits or what are the advantage or the disadvantage of what they are doing to you. But they will just do it because you are their son, because they feel like you don't. In fact, they will not even ask for it. There is no consent. You should not be asked that this is what their forefathers have been doing, and so they should do it. But mine was done in the scientific way, even though I was not asked, because it was done to me when I was just barely, according to my parents, I was barely 7 days old, and that is how mostly they do in Sierra Leone. They will do it when you are very young, maybe in the first week of your birth, or maybe the second week. So that is when they do it in the scientific way. They will take you to a hospital and then they do it. And then, so to them, so to our culture, they say it will heal very quick. You know, it will not delay for it to get healed. So when it is done and you are at that early age, it will get healed very quick. But in some tribe also in our country, until you are, sometimes you are 15, 18, 20, 25, or in some other tribe also, it's when you are ready to get married, that is when they will do it. Like they say now this person is now matured, is supposed to have a wife, and then they will take you to the bush, and then they do it in that traditional way. That is what is very dangerous, and that is what it causes. It causes a lot of loss of life, because you bleed and everything is matured on you. You are very matured, everything is matured, and then there is no medication. It will be done manually, and when it is done manually, maybe you will bleed to death. And then they also use those traditional leaves to I don't know, they grind it and then put it on you. No stitches, no nothing. So if there's any mistake, if they are doing it to you and then there is a mistake, you just say bye-bye to the world. And that's the end of your life. That's the end of your life. So it is very bad. It's very, very bad to say. It is very, very bad. And I'm against it. But if they want to do it to you, I think if they take it to the scientific way, it will be better, because it has a lot of health benefits. To me, I think it has a lot of health benefit. But in that traditional way or in the religious way, they have those traditional stuff of doing it. It's very, very bad, and I condemn it totally.
Thank you, Mambo there from Sierra Leone, sharing with us how it is done in Sierra Leone. I should say that 3 weeks ago, my son, who is about 9 years now, was circumcised. And of course, I told you my practice that all my sons are circumcised, but only when they are old enough, because I tell them, okay, they are going to cut this thing off, but there are reasons why we need to have it done. There's going to be some bit of pain, but you'll be okay with it. And it will be good for you. When you grow up, you'll be much more cleaner, you'll be much more this and that. And then you may end up avoiding some infections. So my son, who is 9 years, accepted. And I should tell you, I have photos here. I won't be able to show them here to you. He has healed very fast. Within 3 weeks, he is now very okay. But it was done scientifically. And when he's old enough, he's a big boy, and he says, yes, I think if you tell him those are the benefits, I think I should go for the knife. And we took him to the hospital, and he was circumcised. Now, what is happening in Africa, in terms of religion, you have just said it, in terms of tradition, some families take their babies to the hospital or invite trained people to circumcise their boys. Of course, they're going to inject them and all that, like the way they did to you. I still condemn it because the child hasn't been given a say to decide whether he wants this practice or not. To me, I rather think that we wait for the child to grow. They see their skin on it, on their penises, and then they see how they struggle to, because I was already old, I was 11 years. I know the difference between having a foreskin on your penis and not having it. Because when I was growing up, 10 years, 9 years, I could always pull it and clean it. Inside there, it's dirty. Let no man who's not circumcised tell you a lie. They are actually dirty. Yes, I repeat it. They are actually dirty when they are not circumcised. There's a lot of stuff that clogs in between the cover that covers the penis, the top, and therefore every time you bathe, you must push it down and wash the stuff. The stuff is thick. I was not circumcised, so therefore I know because I used to watch myself. You have to wash your penis clearly because it has this stuff within the layer that covers the tip of your penis. And therefore, getting infection is much higher because of the tip of this layer. So when my mother told me scientifically, she's a nurse, she had a big clinic in a small town called Mbirizi, in Uganda there, on Mbara Road, and she was doing well. So my mom told me, I want to even be the person to circumcise you because I don't qualify to do circumcision. But I'm telling you from a medical point of view, you'll get more infections if your skin remained on. Then therefore, because I was explained to, and because my mother is a nurse, I said, fine. And she told me you're going to have pain. You won't be able to put on a trouser for maybe 2 weeks or 3, but you like the benefits. Now, this is what I want, that parents should learn to give their children the chance to decide. Because a child may want their skin on. They may want their skin on. I haven't known the difference between having it and you have sex and not having it because I never had sex by the time I was 11. By the time I was circumcised, I was still a virgin boy. So I don't know how different it is to have sex when we are circumcised and when we are not circumcised. So people know the differences. But I talk from the cleanliness point of view. I know people are going to hate it, but I'm telling you, it is a struggle to wash your penis when it has stuff inside it. And I remember when I was urinating, when I had this top layer on my penis, I always had to pull a bit back sometimes, To me, it was very inconveniencing. So that's why I went for circumcision. So I still say, yes, with my children, I allow them to grow. I don't allow them to be circumcised when they're infants. I want to give them a chance to decide if they want this skin on or not. To me, that's not negotiable. Number 2, I believe, and rightly so, that it's important for people in Africa to forget about a culture that thinks that you only become a man because your top layer is off your penis. I don't think so. Because in Africa, in these tribes like the Gishus, it's an initiation ceremony. In fact, they call you a boy even when you're a man with gray hair like me. Why are they calling you a boy among the Gishu? Because you are not circumcised. They are calling you a boy. When I was working after the university, I was working in a law firm that was owned by the Gishu people. And they told me much about their culture. How big men not circumcised would be forced to circumcise when they are 40 years, 30 years, and chased across the village. Let us have a look at these images now. You see what I've been talking about, how it is done in Africa, and of course, vis-a-vis the medical way of doing it. We have images here, which I want to share with you, and of course, with our viewers to have a comparison. Now, this is the medical way of circumcising. Look at how clean it is, the medical way. Some of the images there shows you the person not circumcised. Look at the top, look at the the outer layer. I should tell you, just because I'm circumcised, that I never liked my penis when it had that top skin. To me, it looked ugly, I should say. Whether I like it or not, it didn't look good for me. And you can look at it there, a penis which is not circumcised, then you look at a penis there which has been just circumcised. To me, the circumcised penis looked much smarter and looked much more interesting to have as a man. Just look at other images. These are scientifically, I picked these images to show you how scientific it is done, but also how a penis would look like if it has been circumcised scientifically. Because these are doctors, you see, they are handling this penis and they are circumcising it. They know where to put the stitches. They do everything. They even calculate the meters, the centimeters, whatever it is. And then the outer layer is handled very well professionally. It allows quick healing. You can see the images are for medical circumcision. And this is what I support. This is what I support. Now, look at the barbaric way of circumcising people traditionally in Africa. On my right, look at that boy, barely 8 years or 9 years. They're circumcising this boy, and that it makes this boy a man. And you can imagine they have not made any effort to reduce the pain. They simply come, hijack a boy, and cut the boy. To me, this is mutilation. To me, this is against the right of this child. Now, look at these other people. I picked these images from Uganda. These are the Gishu people, the Sebei people, and others. Very barbaric way of keeping a tradition. I repeat it, it is very barbaric to keep such a very hopeless tradition. You get someone, they smear them with sorghum, they make them run from village to village. This photo on my left was picked from Sierra Leone, because they're also doing that. Blood all over, the pain all over, and the more you do it, the better man you become. How hopeless. But when you cut off my foreskin, I'm a man, therefore. What do you mean by being a man, by putting me through this kind of pain? So a man stands there, as you can see in the photo above there, and then holds your hand. They give you a stick. You hold it, or you you put your hands up, and then they cut you without a blink. If you blink, if you cry, they say you are less than a man. You were a coward. So they cut you without making any effort to reduce the pain. To me, this is torture. Even when we're an adult, but if they are forcing you into this practice, to me, this is torture. This culture is barbaric. Whether I like it or not, this culture is barbaric. It doesn't make you a better man. They make that circle that you must not go beyond that circle. There's in circle the place you're going to stand in. If you go and jump it, as they're circumcising, they say you were a coward. And moreover, they get the entire village to surround you, to intimidate you. They are looking at you. They smear you with sorghum, with local blue. Your entire body is smeared. You are even smelly. Then they cut you as if they are cutting an animal. No effort to make the pain go away. They are using very rudimentary methods. Sometimes they use the same blade, the same knife from one person to another without even thinking about HIV. They give you liquor to take. And to them, this defines a man. How hopeless are these cultures of Africa? How hopeless can these cultures go? Now, for them, they think this is okay, that it defines a man, that was so strong. So I asked them a question. You see, they are giving you a stick. You hold it, and you don't supposed to blink or cry or make noise because it makes a man. And I asked them, okay, you are now men, so what? Now that you have been circumcised, how much have you developed your country, your religion? I mean, your region, your tribe, because now you are all men. Why are you still poor? Why are you still stagnant? Because we are all men and all mighty and all strong. Circumcision is just a ritual which doesn't make you a man better than any other man. You better do it medically than subjecting a man to such pain. To me, I still think that that pain is unnecessary. Whether you are an adult, whether you are an infant, to me, I think someone should go through circumcision the medical way. The pain should be reduced. The risks of passing HIV should be minimal and, of course, reduced, whereby one doctor on one person. To me, this culture is not entertained in this day and age. Of course, Dan Kruger says, in my culture, circumcision of males is not a thing. If you struggle to keep your junk clean, you need soap and regular bathing, not a knife. I do recognize the cultural significance of it. Yes, I agree. Yes, I agree with you, Dan. Dean. We have initiation ceremonies in South Africa, where countless young men die every year from unhygienic circumcision. Exactly. Countless young men die from unhygienic circumcision. Dean Kruger, I've told you, from South Africa. To me, this is barbaric. These are things which define us as the people in Africa to have a very stupid identity. When I say that, they think, oh, I think I'm biased, but I am not. I'm an African, I'm circumcised, but I'm telling you, circumcision using our traditions is the most barbaric, the most uncouth, the most uncivilized way of showing your manhood, that you are man enough because you can hold pain. So what? Okay, if you hold that pain for an hour, does it make you a better man than me, who went through medical treatment, who got a doctor and I never even felt the pain? In fact, I just saw the skin was off and I was out of the theater. That was it. So back to you, Mambo. Share with us your experience in Sierra Leone as we make a conclusion of this show.
That, like, just like what I was saying, they will use the, there is a knife. The knife is like this, and then it has a curvy way like this. This is what they use to circumcise. This is just the way the knife is, and they will use it on up. If you guys are like 10, they will use it on all of you guys, and they will not even wash it. Like, they will not even wash it. Like, when this one is done, another. When this one is done, another. So you see, like, you find out that the blood is just they do not even have. Yes, they do not even have that thinking that maybe this one is sick or maybe this one is, and the only benefit of it to them is when they have to cook a lot of rice, a lot of meat, and then they will eat. In fact, that day that every circumcision, like every man will produce a chicken, a whole chicken, that they will cook that one for you, and that is what you are going to eat. So that is what you are going to eat. You will make the best meal for you on that day. That is what you used to eat. So, like, you see, that is just they use that food as a way to trick those who are hungry to go for it. That is what they use, and it's very, very bad. It's very, very bad. No consent. When that time reach, no consent. Most times they will just be moving around, and then anybody they will catch. If you are not circumcised, they will take you to the bush, and then they will do it. And then they will coerce your parents to kill a chicken and make the best meal that day. So you eat because you are a chief. They call it chief. The day that you will be circumcised, you are a chief on that day. So it's leading to a lot of untimely death, and it's very, very bad. Now, to the scientific side, in our tradition, actually, there is no, like in my own tradition, no consent. 7 days after they have given birth to you, 7 days after, it's a must. They must circumcise you, or maybe 2 weeks. At most 2 weeks in my tradition. So they will not wait for you to get to a certain age for you to, to ask questions, to tell you the benefits or not benefits. They will not even wait for that. The parents will always think that this is my right to do this. I have the obligation to circumcise my son, and upon the 7 days of his birth, this is what I'm going to do. And that also is going to be your naming ceremony. So just after the naming ceremony, they'll take you to the backyard and circumcise you. That is what they do in my tradition. But other traditions, they don't, like the Fullers in Sierra Leone, they'll wait until you have 15, 16, 17, 18, 20. And then maybe some certain guys, they opt themselves. They'll say, okay, I'll go and do it myself because I think there's a lot of benefit if I do it. And then they go to the hospital and do it. But in other traditions, also in the same country, they don't wait. They will just catch any boy on the street, take you to the bush, and do what they want to do. And then they coerce your parents to give a chicken. So that is what they do. And
that is barbaric. That's barbaric. That's barbaric to me as a humanist, to me as someone who honors ethics and consent. To me, some of the cultures we do in Africa are barbaric, are really unhygienic, and are backward and outdated. One of them is male circumcision. We shall be talking about female circumcision. We shall also get an expert to tell us about female circumcision. But today, we're talking about male circumcision. Now, I want us to end this show on this note. And of course, I'm going to ask my co-host, Mambus Emmanuel from Sierra Leone, to give us a summary of this show, but of course, also to close this show. Over to you, Mambo.
Yeah, like I was saying, I think I go in line with your with your idea that when somebody, I mean, when somebody is being consented about being circumcised, you have to educate that person the benefits. You tell him what are the benefits, what is the reason for him to be circumcised. I think that one is good, and then you take it to the scientific way, so that I mean there will be some less of pain. I mean that person will be well treated in the medical way. So I think that one is very, very much good. And let's forget about this traditional way of doing it and also the religious way of doing it, because according to even our African religion, there are some religion which is not like the Christian or Muslim. They have their own way of doing it. They have their own way of doing it. In fact, they have a whole lot of ceremonies being done before they even do it. And that day they will be happy and you are in the pain. So that is what they do. And they will, even that rice that you will not be even be able to eat it, because the type of pain that you'll be going through, you will not be even able to eat the chicken that has been, I mean, they killed for you. And they themselves who are doing the circumcision, they are also going to eat that food. So it is bad, and we should not practice it. I want to say thank you. And before I end, I'll say please follow us and you subscribe to our YouTube channel. You don't only subscribe, you have to also share it. When you share, another person will also see it, and then it will. I think this topic is very, very much important for us, and I mean, we'll take it as a lesson. Thank you very much. My name is Emmanuel Mambo.
See you in the next one. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Yeah.